Hello, my beautifuls. It is Sarah Krippner checking in with you and your Soul 30 challenge. You're probably on day 5 or 6 by now if you've been following along. Yesterday, if you've been watching every email, you probably took a break. And you might be thinking, like, why would you take a break 5 days into a challenge? Here's why. Most people, when you're learning something new, trying to actually do that every single day and commit to something new, absorbing the information, applying it to your life every day, it can be hard. There's a lot to tweak in your day-to-day. Although these steps individually aren't that time consuming, it's new, it's different. I'm asking you to pay attention to yourself throughout the day, your emotions, write stuff down. It's foreign. Or it may not be foreign to you. You may be already involved in doing meditation and journaling and things like that. So maybe this hasn't been so hard for you. But I'm really aiming this at the folks who this might be the first time, or they're pretty new in their journey and their exploration of listening to their soul, listening to their inner being, asking themselves questions, checking in with yourself regularly just to see how you can improve. So the couple of things we did over the first 4 days, again, somewhat simple, but actually very profound work. And most people don't do this kind of work day in and day out. Looking at your emotions, identifying them, playing around with them, and with the goal of intentionally changing how you feel, or paying attention to how you feel and wanting to change it, and then really calling out where you want to go. This practice, if you really build on this over the course of your lifetime, really can change so much. So it's really, really profound work to start getting a handle on our emotions. I say handle, not really a handle like in controlling them and manipulating them, but almost, actually. Because you don't want to let the momentum or the spiral of the low vibration emotions keep you low. You want to slowly climb those emotions up. So I guess we are kind of manipulating in a way, but it's for a good cause. Okay. So hopefully you're rested, ready to go for the next thing. If you haven't already, take a peek at the chart that I put in the email, I think on day 4. Print it, carry it around with you, keep it around, because that chart we're going to use throughout this whole thing. I'm going to reference the chart, the ladder, I might call it David Hawkins, the emotional scale, all that stuff. It's kind of the same thing. So print out a couple of copies if you need to, because you might actually write on one of them. So anyway, so print it out, look at it. That's what we're going to talk about today, is how to use it. Some of you have worked with me before and you are familiar with this because I use it across the board. I'm not shy to admit that this is a foundational piece in the work that I do because it's brilliant. Dr. David Hawkins, if you read his book, Power versus Force, you would get a much more in-depth explanation of how all this came about. But shorthand is the chart. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. When you're looking at your emotions and you want to feel better, this tool will give you the steps to climb. If you are in fear and you want to feel love, you're probably not going to bounce right from fear to love. And if you do, you probably won't stay there. And you're not going to stay in love 24/7 all the time. But you want to be able to take the steps to get there whenever you want. So the example I gave in the email is actually pretty common, and you can apply it to a dating relationship, a parent-child relationship, a spouse relationship, somebody at work, somebody that you're involved with closely on a regular basis. You might be in a space of fear with them, fear of acceptance, fear of loving and not getting loved back, not danger fear, like they're going to physically hurt you. That's a whole different scenario. Please seek help if that is the case. I'm not the person to help you with that kind of scenario, but if you're in a circumstance with somebody where if you were to be honest with yourself and you're kind of scared that they're going to stop loving you, or that they really don't like you, or they don't like what you're doing, or whatever the case may be, that is fear. That is fear of not being accepted, not being loved, not being seen or heard or valued. And when you start acting in that place of fear, the person around you may not want to be around you anymore. Your boyfriend, the person you're dating, your spouse, your colleague, you may notice them pulling away or maybe not spending as much time with you. It's not you. It's not your soul, Sarah as a person per se. It's really just the emotion or the vibration that I'm giving off from that emotion of fear. Because fear doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to you, the person experiencing it. And it doesn't feel good to those people around you. When you're acting out in that, you're pushing out that vibration. So for an example on that too, picture like sonic waves when you're in fear about anything. It doesn't even have to be the person that you're dating or the person that you're with. You could be in fear about something completely different. When you're acting out in that, imagine just those sonic waves of icky feelings of fear and pressure and pain emitting off of you and landing on the people around you. And they're going to go, oh, why do I feel so bad? And, ooh, I don't like Sarah. Every time she comes around, I don't feel good. And it's not Sarah. It's not me. It's the vibration of the emotion that I'm in that they don't want to be around. And it's really hard sometimes to understand that. But once you get a grasp and just, even if you don't totally believe it, just try. Suspend disbelief for a little bit and imagine this about, pick a couple people in your life that you can do this with. If you are in, again, just going to keep using fear, you want to be in love. You want to feel more joy and love and happiness with this person. You've got to walk through the stages to get there. Again, you could jump into a place of fear, in a place of love because of an experience you guys are having or a celebration. But if your resting spot is fear, you're going to come back down there. So what I want to teach you to do is know how to tangibly, like physically kind of walk yourself up to a higher vibration. So I like to use acceptance as a good next step. Acceptance and willingness. If you look on their chart, they're just above courage and neutrality. And courage is right at 200. Courage and neutrality are kind of right in that 200, 250 zone. And those are your baseline. You want to get your emotions up above 200. That's the goal. That is where you're open, expanded, you're welcoming, you're bringing in the beauty of life, you're open to the possibility, and more good, more passion, more color, more vibrancy will come your way when you're above 200. And of course, the higher you are above 200, the better. If you can move yourself up the ladder, potentially through anger, like I gave the example in the email, into a place of willingness, into a place of acceptance of like, okay, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Or I am who I am and I can't change how people like me or see me. I'm just me and I'm going to do the best that I can. That's a place of willingness. That's a place of acceptance of who you are, no matter what other people think of you. When you open up to that vibration, when you start feeling that emotion of acceptance and willingness, the people around you will start to feel that too. They may not exactly feel that same emotion, but what they're going to feel is the difference in your vibration, that frequency, those waves emitting from you. You know, you're going to be pulsing out warmth and pulsing out openness and light. And that's what they're going to feel. They're going to start feeling good around you and they're going to want to be around you more. And then you guys are going to start meshing better. And then when you consciously, the more you consciously do this work and you pay attention to the reaction of the people around you, when you are consciously, intentionally doing this work, oh my gosh, that is going to leapfrog you, because the more you recognize what's happening around you and go, oh my gosh, I just did that ladder thing that Sarah was talking about, and Joe at work totally doesn't yell at me anymore. You're going to start logging in those experiences, and it's going to be easier for you to do this work more quickly, and just it's going to become second nature to you. Okay. And I know this because this is what I've done. All right. And I'm not the first one to do this. I got this from people who have been practicing this for a long time. So I hope that kind of makes sense, that example, and listen to this a couple of times if you need to, but understand that people around you are responding to the vibration of your emotion, not necessarily you. So if you are crabby and angry and frustrated all the time, that's what you're putting out to the world. That's what people feel. They don't want to be around that. They're either going to reflect that and give that back to you, or they're going to walk away or not want to be around you, okay? So you have to change you first. You can't walk around in a bad mood. Well, you can, but can't walk around in a bad mood, expect everybody to be nice to you, and then wonder why they're not nice to you when you're still in a bad mood, okay? It's nobody else's responsibility to lift you out of your funk. It's your job. So this chart will help you to start breaking this up into tangible steps, okay? So that's, without just repeating myself, that's really it. Being aware of where you're at, looking at that chart, being aware of some of the emotions you might experience along the way as you get to the higher vibration emotion that you want to attain or you want to rest in a lot more often, okay? And acceptance and willingness are a great emotion to be in, and you can be in those way more frequently, consistently than, say, a high vibration of joy. You're not going to walk around in joy all the time and still kind of be tangible on this earth. You know, you're going to have bouts of it, but it's much easier to get up to love and joy when your resting place is acceptance. If your resting place is fear or anger, like it might be for a lot of us, you know, currently, it's so much harder to get above that 200 mark. So our goal is to get above 200, make that our resting place, not get upset with ourselves if we're not there. It's okay. Wherever you are, it's okay. But just start taking the conscious steps to move yourself up, okay? And then pay attention to the responses of other people, okay? So this is a lot of paying attention. This is really a 30-day challenge of paying attention to yourself, to where you are. This is mindfulness. This is being in the moment. This is being connected with you. And the more you really, really understand you, the more you have the ability to change, the more you start accepting yourself, the more you start loving yourself, and then you can spread that out to those around you. So this is very selfish work, but it's selfish work that will benefit way more than you can possibly imagine right now. Because when you are in this emotion of love and joy, when you are consciously able to get up there and stay up there and be in that place no matter what's happening around you, you will call people up to that vibration. Okay, people are going to want to be around you, and they're going to want to match that vibration, that beautiful sun, light, you know, loveliness of those high vibration emotions. People are going to want to be around that, and they're going to want to match that. If they're stuck way down in blame and shame, the lowest emotions on the chart, and they experience or interact with somebody who's way high up in the love state, that's going to piss them off. They're not going to want to be around that. But if you can find people, or when people come across you and you're in this high vibration and they're just dwindling, you know, kind of hanging out a little bit below 200, they're going to rise up. Okay, you're going to lift up. You're going to infect people with this beautiful high vibration the more you consciously and intentionally practice this work. So that's why you are the most important thing right now. Your emotions, how you feel, striving to feel good, striving to feel love and light and beauty and openness will benefit everybody. No matter what work that you do, no matter what kind of relationship you're in, where your health is, everybody can do this work. Everybody can do this work. And doing this work will help all those areas of your life. The more you do it and the more you allow this into every part of your life, you'll be able to see possibility and forward movement, and it's really beautiful. So okay. Much longer video than I planned, but I think this is good juicy stuff. Good juicy stuff. Listen to this video over again if you have to, or if you want to. And please shoot me an email, or once I post this in the Facebook group, you can respond to me there. Shoot me a private message if you have more questions. If you want to do more of this work really individually, one-on-one with me, this is what I do as a vibrational healing coach. I help you in put all of this into tangible steps in your life that you can do on a regular basis to improve your life on a whole. Okay. But if you're not ready for that, then don't. Just continue on with the challenge, because you're going to get a ton of information going forward. Okay. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for listening. I will see you guys soon. Practice your emotions, and I'll see you later. Bye.